authority. Number two, go and buy my book called The Power of Vision. Look at the last chapter. Number three, go and buy my book, Discovering Purpose. And look at chapter 4, 5, 6, and 7. Number 5, go and buy my book, Understanding Your Potential. All these books tell you how to find your destiny. But for the sake of those who don't like to read, I will give you 3 of the principles. Number 1, your purpose and your destiny is whatever makes you angry. That's your purpose and your destiny. Your anger is your purpose and your destiny. What do you mean, Dr. Monroe? Well, whatever makes you angry, you're supposed to fix. Everyone was born to solve a problem. Every time you see the problem, you become angry. No one else becomes angry, just you. That's a sign that that's your area of destiny. So go find your anger. Every great woman and man was angry, all of them. Hallelujah. Number 2, how do you find your destiny? What would you do for no paycheck? Let me say it another way. What would you do without compensation? What would you do if you never get paid to do it? That's your destiny. Because destiny doesn't work for money. That's why a person who found their destiny don't have a job. Because destiny is not a job. It's an assignment. Bill Gates was talking to someone. They asked him, what is the key to your success? He said, I found something I love to do more than money. I love to invent things. It's my passion. And what I invent solves problems. Number 3, finally, what is your destiny? Your destiny is your passion. Every human has passion, but our culture hides it. Our culture says, pursue a career for paychecks, not for passion. And so you live just to survive, not to make a difference.
The all-new GoDaddy Aero helps you get your business.
Hello, folks. Hello, folks in Radio Land, wherever you are joining me today, wherever you are. Welcome. It's a beautiful day here in Studio Talk TV Media Network Sunday Gospel Hour, and also discussing issues for our healthy growth and living. Again, today is the month of August, as you all are already aware of. Today is the 4th of August. The year is moving very, very fast. So welcome to the show. This is the day I always look forward to coming here and seeing you and chit chat and talk about the goodness of God and the things, just like you heard from our father right there, our mentor, the great legend that ever lived, Dr. Myles Munroe. May his soul rest in peace. That was Dr. Miles Monroe, talking about destiny. How do you find your purpose, your God-given destiny? But before you find your destiny, you have to choose. Even if you do find your destiny, you have to decide something, and that comes with choices. And of course, that is why I'm here today. This was a topic that I started last Sunday, and today will be the climax of this topic. Today, not destiny, choices. The choices we make in life, the significance of choices, the effect of choices, how they affect us, good or bad. That's what we'll be talking about today. Howbeit, I will give you guys one more song, a good gospel song here, Mountain Remover, and then we'll get the ball rolling for you. Until then, just sit back, enjoy. I'm going to have a very good dialogue here on this topic. Enjoy your song.
Only you can do it, Lord. That's why we look to you. Nobody like you, Lord. Jehovah. Mountains remover. Jehovah. Lord, I love you, Lord. Motherfucker.
All right, all right. As you heard it out there, time is not in our favor. It is just a 1 hour show here every Sunday. Jehovah, you are a mountain remover. You are the God that removes storms, no matter what storm you are facing in your life. I can help you. You cannot even help yourself. Only God can remove that storm. Only God can remove that thing, that worry, that is in your life that you are facing. So Jehovah, God, Jehovah is a mountain remover. Folks, I have my guest for the show today that we bring in right away. We'll be talking about choices, as you may already be aware. This is the topic that we will be talking about today. Choices. This. Very fascinating, very interesting. So please share the broadcast. Again, my name is Sam Gadu, and my guest for the show, Mr. Bimba. Welcome to the show. You still muted.
Thank you, Sam. It's good to be here today. Looking forward to a good discussion.
How is your Sunday going so far?
Pretty good. Just came from church, and the climate is really welcoming. Not too hot, not too cold, just kind of medium.
Right.
So it feels good, yeah.
Man, it's hot over here in Oklahoma.
No, I can send you some cool breeze, man.
It's hot over here. And those of you who are watching online, like I always say, welcome to the show. Please share the broadcast. But Mr. Bimba, it's an honor to have you again today on the show. I know this is not your first time on the show with me, and I will forever continue to tap into the reservoir of knowledge that you have, especially the practical aspect. Choices, like I told you, I know it was a last minute call, but you never disappoint. So I'm deeply honored to have you.
Thank you.
So folks, last week I started talking about this topic, Mr. Bimba, choices. The choices, the importance of choices, choices that we make in life. It has to do with not one way, but so many ways that you get to face in life. We will talk about all of these different types of choices earlier on during the broadcast. Life choices that we make, family choices, health choices, career, finances, and all of this. It has to do with which way you are going. Which way are you going? This way, that way, another way, my way. Either way, whether you go forward or go backwards, it has to do with a choice that one has to make. It comes with a decision. And if you do listen to the intro when I started with Dr. Mars Monroe, may his soul rest in peace, he was talking about the importance of purpose. And purpose comes with choices. It comes with choices. What's your take on this? Choice.
Well, I guess it's a very open topic. You try to narrow it down to life, family, career, and other things.
Right.
But on the overall, you want to look at it generically. Once you have to make a choice, it means you have more than one thing.
Right.
Or you have at least more than one way. And what comes to my mind quickly is if you're going to make a choice, you probably need more information. The more information you have about the choice you're going to make, you're probably going to make a better choice based on the facts.
Right.
The knowledge you have about the information. The problem is that for us as Africans, I would say, we don't have a lot of choices. And when you have limited choices, then the choice makes the choice of you. You can't choose it. You are chosen. And then you become the chosen. But where you have unlimited resources, then you have the opportunity to make a choice. I can go on the left or on the right, but I can also go in front or behind. That means I have the space to do that.
Right.
What if I don't have the space to go behind, the left or the right, and I only have the space to go in front? That's what I mean by the choice making you the chosen. You're chosen to go only in front. But also, the other thing that I probably want to say is that there may not be a choice, but there is always a way of making a choice.
What do you mean by
that? Which means that you want to be creative, you want to be inquisitive, you want to research, you want to ask questions, or you want to know. I may have just one way of doing things, but I would say to me, is there another way of doing things? I think that's, to me, a millstone, a pedestal to stand on, to be able to make choices where you have limitation of choices. So that means that I'm not limited to making choices, even if I have only one choice.
right?
Am I willing to seek for other choices? Or if my mindset closed up, but I'm not interested in any choice. There are a lot of people who have weak minds. So they would say, well, since I don't have a choice, it is what it is. So I will do what I will do.
Yeah, I've heard that so
On
many
the
times.
other hand, others will say, well, I know that this is the only way, but there could be another way. And what if this is a person now who is going to start asking questions or doing research or thinking or even becoming creative? Since I couldn't go in front, I couldn't go on the left, I couldn't go on the right, I couldn't go behind, can I go up? Or can I dig my way in?
Mm-hmm.
You created a way by creating the opportunity that may be available. So, like, you probably can't go front, back, right or left, but you could go up or you could go down. So you can see what I mean by creating opportunities.
So what I'm gathering is it has to do, when you look at the definition of it, a decision one has to make between two things or more.
Or more, yeah.
Right. So that decision could either be a bad decision, a good decision, and we're looking at it from within that context, as in the effects. Last week, I was able to talk about the pros and cons of choices, which I could rehearse over here. But with where you're going, and when you look at the importance, how choices are so crucial in achieving success and also happiness in life, very, very important, the choices we make. Someone could be listening, as in, I have reached a point of nowhere, no return. I have no choice. Just like you said, people on this side of the planet have enormous opportunity of making choices, as in someone who's sitting somewhere in Bangladesh in a village, or somewhere in Liberia in a village, that do not have access to so many choices. But either way, it's a choice. And I like the way you narrate, you open it up, as in, if you are limited with choices, you think out of the box, as in, you have to force yourself to do something. What do you say to someone who's listening, as in, how do I get out of that box in the first place? I don't see a way out.
Well, yeah, I like the point where you brought the ethics of the choice that you're making. But you can't even apply ethics unless you are willing to make a choice, or
Right.
you have the option for a choice. So given that I have options to make a choice, then I will begin to analyze whether the choice is good or not good, or whether the choice is timely or not timely, because the time will determine the choice as well, or whether there is permission or some opportunity for implementing the choice. So that's after I've made up my mind, right? So yeah, a person who has no choice should always think out of the box, like you put it, or we'd say should be creative. And
Yeah.
creativity is like, okay, I probably have only one thing to do, but is there another way of doing it? A weak mind would say, no, there's no other way of doing it. Just
That's
accept
correct.
it.
Yeah.
A creative mind would say, well, there may not be a choice right now, but there can be a choice. And therefore, I'm going to talk to Mr. Ngadu about what I'm thinking. Or I'm going to talk to XYZ to tell me what I could do. What if you were in my situation? What would you do? Or you want to speak to books
Mm-hmm.
and say, well, I'm making a choice about, say, marriage. What books can I find on marriage? Or what if you're a Christian? What does the Bible say about marriage? At that point, you're beginning to gather information. You're going to accumulate knowledge, and the knowledge will begin to expose you to the opportunities that you have or you don't have, and also to help you evaluate the opportunities that you have. Like the Bible says, there is a way that seemeth right to man, but the end thereof is death. So there could be opportunities that may seem right, but the effect of them is not good. And sometimes such opportunities are easy ones and no brainers, but they lead you to trouble.
Right. And going to the Bible, right? Going to the Bible, like you mentioned it. One thing I'm beginning to realize is when you look at the Bible, the context in which God speaks, everything that he has to do, that he has asked men to do, has to do with choices, the choices to make. In the beginning, God, even when he put Adam in a garden, he gives them a choice. And there are scriptures that talked about choose ye this day whom you will serve, life and death, choose life. And I was talking about that the other day, asking the beautiful thing about God is when he gives you a choice, a reason to choose between two things, he almost gave you the right thing, show you what to pick from the scriptures, but it's left with us to decide. After he shows you, it's like a teacher who is giving a student's test and say, this is the right answer, A is the right answer, but I will leave you alone to choose, to decide whether B or A, you decide. But there are consequences that comes with that, those choices, those decisions to make. How do you look at it from the biblical context?
Well, I would say that God doesn't just give us choices. I think the choices come in context. For example, where you have choose ye this day whom you may serve, there was knowledge about God and there was knowledge about other gods. Because the whom you may serve is indicative that there is other choice. Choose ye this day whom you may serve. And then the other context here is that the people to whom this question is exposed to have the choice of being the people of God. And they also have the choice of knowing the other gods that were around them. So they know that the God that they serve was the living God. So that's one fact. They also know that the God they serve, if obeyed, will bring blessings.
Right.
As opposed to the other gods who you have to work for and do for and don't even speak to you, who have ears but can't hear and have eyes cannot see. So the choice is brought within that context. Choose ye this day. Then there's also the history of how they got to this point where they asked this question. Their God had brought them from Egypt. The God had crossed them the Red Sea. Their fathers told them of the things that happened. They were produced the manna. They were produced water in the desert. And you're asked to choose ye this day whom you may serve. So there is a context of the relationship between them and God to say, well, you probably may be struggling as to how you make a choice, but remember what I done for you. Are you going to choose God? Or are you going to choose the created gods or the creator God?
But what I'm trying to think between the lines, as in, what is God trying to do? Well, he's all powerful, all knowing. He could easily just say, this is, he could easily just give us one choice, as in, don't give us the freedom to choose life and death or choose this and this. He already knows what's good for us, right? So I'm trying to figure out, why can't he just say, this is the right thing for you? Go this way. This is the only path I have for you. Why you had to? Isn't God helping us to fall in some of these problems that we are falling into? You know,
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
I'm just thinking.
Let's go back to your point of purpose.
Right.
The purpose for creation is not just to exist as a machine, but the primary purpose of God is to have a relationship with us.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, he created us in his image, like him. In other words, there are similarities in us that align with who God is. And one of the big things also we have to remember is that
right.
he gave us the willpower to choose. Now, what if you were going to marry everybody in the world, whether they like you or not, and you get married to them? Would you have a relationship? I don't think that would be a relationship. So you want to espouse to a girl or to a woman that you want to get married to and say, I want a relationship with you. Imagine the joy that you have if they say, yes, I want a relationship with you. It becomes a person to person. So God has a personality. Therefore, he wants a relationship with us. That's why he's giving us the opportunity to choose. The willpower to choose is part of the image of God that he puts in us. So he didn't put us without, like I said, you can make better choices when you have more information, when you have facts, when you have knowledge.
Yeah.
So God did not disable us to make us to just follow him. I have a cup of tea here.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate to this the best that I can because it doesn't have a well. It will not like me. I have to like it. So it's a one-way street. So if God were to make us a piece of matter to use, we would not choose him. He would choose us. And what good do you have from dictatorship? Not much.
Wow. That's a mouthful right there. That's a whole lot of mouthful. And as I said, listening to you and going beyond even what the scriptures are saying and the decisions we make every day of our lives, it all has to do with choices. Because I'm thinking, even the mere fact that I have to get up in the morning to get in a car, knowing there's a risk factor involved, to drive to work, being in that car, it's a choice I had to make. It's a choice I have to make to get in our car. All the risks. So when you look at all the different facets, all the different aspects, I want us to look at some of these things. Let's narrow it down, like family choices, life choices, choice with friends. Let's talk about friends. Then we'll go to the next ones. How do you choose your friend? What type of friends do you have? It's all about this. First, though, before you attack that, I'm kind of confused. Not confused, but I keep coming back and forth between the word choice and decision. Those two, kind of like intertwined. Help me understand.
You have a choice and you make a decision about the choice. One way to put it. But anyway, looking at friends. So, how do you choose good friends? How do you choose good friends? First of all, from biblical instruction, the Bible clearly talks about being unequally yoked with unbelievers.
Right.
And the resemblance of that information is, in the old days, they used they use ox for drawing the plow. So if you have one animal higher than the other, the labor work and the output of the two animals will be uneven or even obstructive to how the other is moving. So in other words, the unequally yokeness that the Bible speaks about is being in the same alignment of frequency or in the same environment as somebody. Like, for example, if you and I have several things in common, it's easier for us to discuss. It is easier for us to talk or to share opinions, because you know what I know and I know what you know.
Right.
For example, I go in the talk with you in the evenings and we talk for hours. We didn't plan the talk, but the topics were never exhausted because we have similarity in background and in experience and in many other ways, right? So it makes it easier for us. But say if you were thinking opposite of what I'm thinking, the conversation would be a crash.
That's true.
Time. And it wouldn't be so sweet. It wouldn't be so long. It would be short-lived. So, in other words, we have to be in aligning forces and not contradicting forces. So, if you're going to look for a friend who has the same belief with you, who has the same ability with you, who has the same traditions and culture with you, and who is likely to agree with you professionally and other means and so on. Like,
so part of that is like when you talk about belief in making good friends, right? And you talk about relationships. If I know that I'm a Christian, not being unequally yoked, but then I'm making friends with Muslims or with someone who is of a different religion and all of that stuff. Sometimes I think it works for most people, but sometimes it doesn't, especially when it comes to a relationship context, because these people are very straightforward on their rules and regulations and all of that stuff when it comes to relationship, or marriage. How do you help someone who is thinking, I have a relationship, I'm involved into a relationship where I'm torn apart because my relationship is a Muslim and I'm a Christian?
Relationship, friendship or relationship?
Friendship, relationship that leads to marriage. Relationship.
For example, do I have Muslim friends? Yes, I do. And why do I have the Muslim friends? Because as a Christian, I have a duty to present Christ to them. So it is in that context that I'm entering into that relationship. I'm getting into the relationship so that I can exemplify, be an example of what Jesus would be. Right? Mm-hmm. So in other words, there's a purpose in my relationship. And because I'm already aware of that purpose, and I know what I'm doing in that relationship, I think it's safe. On the other hand, what if I wanted a friend for a friend's sake without an agenda? Again, the agenda or the choice that I made will choose me to be a victim vulnerable to the Muslim who probably have the desire of converting me to being a Muslim. So I'm going to be that person that could get converted because I'm not getting in a relationship with any purpose or meaning. So I'm open to be dragged to whatever they have, if they do have anything, or it would just be a meaningless relationship that could go anywhere. It can fall out of sight. But like I said, I have Christian relationship, Christian friends, and the reason for the Christian friends is to create fellowship and to strengthen me and to remind me, support me, and to make me to be who we want to be, all of us, which means that we are aligned, we are in the same direction, we flow in the same current, as opposed to having a relationship, a friendship that is contrary to the direction that I'm going. It will be opposing forces. I'll be pushing and they're forcing me, like magnets, right? The North and South Pole. You'll be contradicting one another. You expel one another, repel one another instead of attracting to one another. So let's put it that way.
Let's go to the family. That was a good one. Let's go to the next one. That has to do with family choices over there. Normally, when you and I don't decide which family we come into, we have no choice as to this is the family I want to be into. This is the family you want to be into. If I had that choice, I think I would have said, "Where's Warren Buffett? Where's Bill Gates? Where's Elon Musk?" So I can be, the richest kid on the block on earth. But we don't choose family. But some families sometimes are difficult to deal with each other. Very, very difficult. The aspect of creating a family, you meet a woman, you love this woman, and then you get together, you start creating a family. Children comes along, and it gets to a point as in things are not going as you expect, and it's all decision making, because when you say that, yes, I do, it's a decision that you had to make. It was a choice. When you met that woman and that woman met you, it was a choice. But at one point down the road, things are getting sour, or things have gotten bad to the extent that you realize you don't need to be in that marriage. You don't need to be in that relationship anymore, knowing that the consequences of your decisions, the choice that you have made, is going to affect so many. What do you do in that scenario?
Well, I think there's no cookie cutter question you're asking. So I won't tell you what or what not to do specifically. I could only give us some guidelines as to how to manage that. First, let me say that someone said God's biggest problem is his relationship with humanity. If you read the book of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, it's all about God and human beings.
Right.
They're together, they fall. They're together, they fall. They're together, they fall. Something happened. He wiped the word using the flood, and then sometimes fire, and sometimes other circumstances, illnesses, and so on. So there's a whole pack of things involved in relationship between even us and God. And now we come to family. The fundamental thing we need to know is that the family is an institution designed by God.
Mm-hmm.
And if we apply the principles of God, who is the manufacturer of that institution, we will have problems, but we have less problems. And if we deviate, when I say we, all the individuals involved in that institution deviate from that family, there is always going to be problems. Now, not forgetting that in that institution, we still have the will to choose and not to choose.
Right.
That's where the crisis, the crisis come in.
That will.
That's where the crisis come in, because if I'm not aligned to walk along with you, and I'm working against you, it's not going to be fun. Imagine when you were in a honeymoon period, when you all agree to marry, when you all agree to start a family, when you all agree to be together, when you all agree on everything, it's like there was no contradiction.
Nothing.
It's kind of a flow in the same direction of the stream.
Coherence and flow, yeah.
It just happens. But when that coherence and that alignment is misplaced, you see contradictions and different forces come into contradict. So now, on the premise that God instituted marriage, my advice is the closer all individuals who are interested in this family come to God, the closer they get to one another. I always use a diagram like that. Say, this is where God is, and this is where I am, and this is where you are. And if we both are coming here, we get closer to one another as we get closer to God.
Right. So God is in the middle. Oh,
in
that's
the middle,
a beautiful one
yeah.
right
So
there.
if we're walking towards the middle, we get closer. The distance between me and you is shorter. If we're walking away from God, the distance gets longer.
That's true.
And because of that, there's not going to be an agreement hardly, unless the grace of God, because the direction of our energy, of our thinking, of our mindset, of what our behavior and our belief system is so misaligned that's why we cannot come together, because I'm not coming towards God and you are not coming towards
That
God.
is so much of a good example. I mean, that picture you just paint out is so cool. That, you know, God is in the middle, and both people, I am moving towards God, you moving towards God. The more we move towards God, the closer we get together, the better we become.
Obviously,
the better our family become everything.
That's why there's a saying, the family that prays together stays together. Well, it also means the family that is coming towards God. You see, here's another problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
We seek one another in a relationship of marriage, and people come in with hidden agendas,
expectations
that you didn't even know, and they probably didn't even know themselves. But at some point, they feel liberated, or they see the opportunity to bring their agenda, and that's where the misalignment is going to start. Then you don't want to eat the same type of food that you used to eat anymore. But you used to eat.
And you never had a problem with the type of food I used to eat. It was never an issue. But because
the alignment and the direction was there. But when it's going that way, even the food, you almost reach your point where you're enemies in the same bed.
But don't you think too that the friends that we have, normally I tell my children that you should be the one to choose your friends, and not your friends to choose you. Because if you let your friends choose you, they will control you. But choose the right friends that are best for you, to make you better, to sharpen you better. So is it because that maybe at a certain point in that marriage or in that lifestyle, the environment has its own role? The friends that you bring around you, they have their own impact into now this relationship that is drawing you away from God instead of bringing you closer to God.
Well, you said that so well already. Like, as long as, say, for example, I think the Bible talks about us running the race and us carrying extra baggage in the race. I may want to come to this center where God is, but in coming there, I could pick up a baggage, which is the wrong type of friend, who is going to discourage my speed and my drive towards God. And while you are coming faster, it means that you're going to get closer to God before me. But because I have taken baggages in friendship and decisions and actions that I'm involved in, that's going to affect the relationship that we have, because we're not on the same speed or direction towards the central goal, the core interest that we both should have. So, I mean, it's convoluted. That's why I'm saying that this cannot be a cookie cutter answer where all the cookie cutter fits every
where all the chips will just fall one time.
But it's all difficult. It's very, very difficult. Relationship are God's greatest problem.
But I think you answered it the right way, though. I like the answer you gave, which has to do with that picture, because God has to be in the center. The same God that was there. The same God that was there from the beginning, when everything was rosy, when everything was beautiful, when everything you never saw, oh, you step on my toe. You never saw, I can't believe you said that to me. You never saw that because God was there. Everything was fine, the provisions. But now, as you drew apart away from God, then the problems, you know, and the way the enemy magnifies those problems now. And it's very crucial at that stage, the kind of friends that you hang around, because they are there to just reinforce. Oh, I won't do that if I were you. I can't believe she did that to you. I can't believe, did he say that to you? When you're hearing these things, the negative, you know, the negatives, they will eventually take complete control. And this has to do with choices and the decisions we make within that. Those choices are very crucial from our perspective. You know, but time is going fast. I want us to take a quick break. Let's give our listeners a quick song here, very, very quick. Let me bring that song on the stage, and then we will come back and wrap up, folks. Just bear with us. Where are you?
Oh yeah. Yes, one new wheel. Nengo, new wheel. New wheel, global. Hey, new wheel. New wheel. Just so new wheel. New wheel. New wheel. New wheel, global. Hey. Hallelujah. Oh yeah. Hey. No more daddy, no more daddy. Oh yeah.
Come and see, come and see, come and see what the Lord has done. That's why the song says, come and see, folks. Folks, thank you very much for following us. This is Talk TV Media Network Sunday Gospel Hour. Here with me, Sam Gadu. Along with me today is Mr. Principal, Father. I don't even know what kind of accolades to add, to that first name. But as you can see, it's very simple. Brother Nabimba joining me on the show today. Thank you. We have a few minutes left for the show. I know it will be very hard for us to exhaust this topic because from what I'm looking at, we only spoke about probably two things: friends, family, and what about health? Can we attack health and maybe leave the rest for next week? The choices we make when it comes to health, the importance of health, the decision we make. Take it from me.
Can we? Yeah. I wanted to say one or two things before we move to health. In regards to family, right? I want to leave this with us.
Well, let's leave health for next week and just close on family.
Yeah, let's close on family. I want to leave this with us. One of the key components that keeps family together is good communication. Good communication. You see, before families break apart, communication will be the first that breaks apart.
Right.
When communication fails, the opportunity for a lot of misunderstanding will become ripe. So communication is key. And then the other thing that I want to say quickly because of time, is people forget what they say when they make vows. And
Wow.
one of those things that people forget when they say, or they don't even listen to themselves when they make vows, is for better, for worst. For better, for worst. It's like you're making a contract, leaving no exit.
Is it forgetting though, or we just don't take it lightly
We
or
don't take it
serious like
seriously.
like it was?
We don't take it seriously. We don't even hear it because of that radiance and beauty and glow of love, of getting a partner. We're not listening. And that's where I think good counseling, pre-marriage counseling and post-marriage counseling is helpful for young people, right? Because it's like they're infatuated. For most part, they don't even know love. It's more of infatuation, feelings that they're going in. So to get to know what you're saying and what you're agreeing to, if you really know, you probably want to step back. You want to renege
It's not an easy decision to just
imagine you're making a contract before you and the other person and God. In the middle of that agreement, you are saying, for better or worse, I'm going to be there with you.
Well, but more often though, brother Nat, more often for better, we only like the for better though.
Exactly.
But when the worst come now,
that's why I'm bringing
nobody
it
wants
up.
bad things. Nobody wants bad treatment or whatever.
But that's what. But
nobody
that's what
wants a marriage.
Is.
Nobody wants a marriage where there's no money.
But that's what that means. Did you understand that when you were putting yourself into that contract, that included bad health, it included no money, it included certain behavior that you don't like, it included having children that are going to give both of you trouble, it included every other thing, for better, for worse. So I think whoever coined that statement, consider all of these aspects. It's not always going to be rosy, rosy, rosy. Then it's not real. Real life is going to produce certain negative things that will challenge that relationship. That's why the pastor or the priest is asking you for better or for worse. And you enter unknowingly into that contract. You're entering into a contract between you and man and God with the weaknesses of all the people sitting there. Imagine the gravity of that.
Yeah. Ooh. Man, a lot to talk about, man. That's yeah. I like that aspect though. You know, in contemporary world, this world we live in, and when you look at cases on a docket, cases, you know, one of the main reasons they always use is incompatibility. You know, we're not compatible. But then you guys were so compatible. You know, 15, 20 years down the road, you felt you were compatible, you know, and stuff. What happened? Something came in, and part of what we fail to realize, especially as Christians, I'm thinking about is once you make that contract, then you become the enemy's number one target.
Yeah.
The enemy is now laser focused to destroying that oath, that contract that you made, and he wants to find every loophole, every way to come in to destroy.
Do you know why that is so?
Why?
It's very critical. Here is why I see it that way. The family is targeted by the devil because God made a contract with families to bring redemption and salvation to the world and fellowship to the world. How is that so? Who were the first people in the garden? It was the family that God chose, Adam and Eve.
Right.
Abraham and his wife, Mary and Joseph, and so forth and so forth and so forth and so forth. So whatever God is doing, because he has given us the right of having dominion and control over the earth, whatever God is going to do on earth, he's contracting the family. Not the government, not the United Nations, not the Army of America, but it's the family that God is contracting. to do
So-
what
so-
he wants to do on earth.
So
You want to destabilize any country, destroy the family, and you see you don't have a nation anymore.
There where I was about to point out. So my understanding as you continue to talk about that, once the devil, the enemy, is able to cripple the family, he cripples every institution, he cripples the government, organizations, he cripples the church, and destabilize society.
Well, do you have a church without family? No. There's nothing you're going to have to work here on earth without the family. It's family, family, family. So no wonder why all the new agenda and new ideas are targeting towards the family. Redefine the family. The day they do that, there's trouble. The enemy is looking at the family because God's great government, grand government, has contracted the family as we know it in the Bible. The family where there's procreation, continuity. When that family is undermined, everything else is going to cease.
Yeah, that's a mouthful right there. But as I always say, time is our biggest enemy here on the Sunday broadcast show. I'm more honored, like I always say. Liberian people say, "Ahoy for you, Papa, you got to come back." Yeah, to finish this. This is very important. What's your last word? You want to leave with our viewers?
Well, I want to say to all of us that none of us immune to not having challenges, tests, and trials in all our relationships, including family, career, and so on. There are always going to be trials and temptations, but we never know how big our God is if we didn't have troubles and if we didn't have problems. So I will point us to run to God whenever these relationships or these choices have to be made. Like I told somebody this week, I don't know what to choose. Well, if you don't know what to choose, seek wisdom. Talk to him. Talk to somebody. Pray about it. Ask questions. Seek knowledge. And you'll be able to find a way out of it and so on. It's not as easy as I'm saying it, but it's possible. That the God who set relationship between us and him, the vertical relationship, has control over the horizontal relationships that we have with other people. So we can trust God. We cannot do it on our own. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is a good relationship expert. I have yet to see one. Like you said earlier, you would have chosen to be a Bill Gates' son. You know what the Bill Gates' son goes through? You probably don't like it. You'd rather choose your old man Garu to go to the farm than to be a farm. Where you catch your little frog and you're eating, you're happy, and there's no harassment.
I'm telling you, man.
You have no time to see your dad. You need an appointment to go see your dad because he's too busy.
Okay. Folks, there you have it. There you have it. On the show, every good thing must come to an end. So those of you who joined us today online, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be here next week, every Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is 7 p.m. Liberian time. So save it on your calendars. This is where we bring you the gospel hour, where we get into the word, the social aspect, entertain you with good gospel music, every Sunday, just to chit chat, sometimes to discuss those things that pastors are not discussing on a pulpit. We love it. We love to have you here every Sunday. As you go through this week, I know some of you, most of you, if not, will be making a lot of decisions, a lot of choices, all of us. So my prayer to you is that you make the right ones for you and what benefits you and wherever God is leading you with life. So I leave you with this one song. Thank you very much. It says, Jesus is sweet. Jesus is sweet, and it's in Kisi.